Hi, I'm Savannah. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these cute little crochet dolls. Now I just designed her the other day and it's just one pattern, but you can make them just by changing the different yarn colors you use, and then there's a few techniques that you can adjust to make like curly hair you can see here. And then like for her, I gave her little boots instead of the little shoes. And that's just because I changed the color in a different spot. And then the skirt can be adjusted as well. Not too difficult, just you end it at a different point, or you can make it as long as you want. And the hair, of course, you can make longer if you want. And I'll show you how to do the curly hair and the straight hair. This one you can see she has a little bit of curly hair and then mostly just the straight hairs. And I'll show you how to adjust that as well. All right, and so this is going to be like beginner to intermediate tutorial, I would say. You don't need to know how to do too much, just single crochet, half double crochet, slip stitch, magic circle, and I think that's about it. If there's anything more difficult, I'll show you how to do it along the way. All right, so now I'll see you in the tutorial. So the materials you're going to want to make the doll are going to be some scissors, a 4mm crochet hook, a yarn needle, some plastic safety eyes, fabric glue for the hair, and this I just got off of Amazon for like $3, and then some black embroidery thread, and this was just to make the mouth. And then we're going to need a skin tone, and then something for the clothes, so you can go with multiple colors. I'm just going to go with one, and then a hair color. And then last, you're going to need pins, and then something to stuff into the neck, that way it's not super floppy. This I just have is like the handle to a brown paper bag. You can use like a straw or something like that. So the way this doll is worked is you make the feet and then you crochet up the legs, and then the legs are going to come together, and then we're going to crochet the body, and then you do the arms separately, and then the arms are crocheted directly into the body so they're not sewn on or anything. And then you do the head, and then the head is sewn onto the body, and then you can do all the rest, so all the dress and then the hair, and then the hair gets glued on with the fabric glue. So to start out, we're going to make a magic circle, or if you want, you can do the chain 2. And we're just going to crochet 8 single crochets into the magic circle. All right, and now that you have 8 single crochets, you're just going to pull your magic circle closed, or your chain if you did the chain 2. Now we're going to just double the amount of single crochets we have. So we're just going to increase in that first single crochet. So 1 goes into that single crochet, and then 1 more right inside that same single crochet. And then we're going to do that all the way around. And once round 2 is done, we should have 16 single crochets. So after round 2, you should have 16 single crochets all the way around. And now what we're going to do for round 3 is crochet into the back loops. So the back loops, if you look at the top of your crochet stitches, the back loop is going to be the one that's farther away from you. And you're just going to single crochet right into that back loop. And then we're going to do that all the way around, not increasing or decreasing anything. Alright, and after round 3, your crochet should look something like this. You can see on the bottom, there's those little front loops that we missed, and it's starting to curl up a little bit. We should still have 16 single crochets. So for the next round, we're going to just crochet 4 times in the next 4 stitches. So 4 single crochets, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease. And the way you're going to do that is just go through the front loop of the next stitch. The front loop is the one closer to you, and then the front loop of the next stitch after that. And then you yarn over, pull your yarn through those 2 loops, yarn over again, and then pull through the last 2 loops like the single crochet. And then after that, we're going to do a half double crochet decrease. And what you're going to do is you're going to yarn over first like you would half double crochet, and then you're going to go through the front loop of the next stitch, through the front loop of the stitch after that, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops like you would half double crochet. Then we're going to do that one more time, so one more half double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull through 3 loops, and then we're going to do a single crochet decrease, and then we're going to single crochet 4 more times to the end of the round. So 1, 2, 3, pull out the marker, and 4. And now we should have 12 stitches all around. You can see it's starting to look like a little bit of a shoe. Alright, and for round 4, we're going to change colors. So we're going to insert our hook into the next single crochet, yarn over, pull up 1 loop, and then we're going to take our new color and then just go over it like this and pull it through both those loops as if to single crochet. And then we're going to single crochet in the next stitch with our new color. And then we're going to decrease. Just a regular single crochet decrease. And now we're going to single crochet 2 more times. So 1, 2, and then we're going to do another decrease. And then we're going to single crochet 2 more times. So 1, 2, pull out your marker and do that last decrease. Alright, and now we should have 9 stitches all around. I'm going to cut my little ends here. You don't have to make them super short because you can just take them and tuck them into the foot here. So I like to just use my scissors, take all those ends, and stuff the foot with it. Alright, and then we can place our marker in that last stitch. Now we are done our decreases, and all we're going to do is single crochet in each stitch around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, pull out the marker, and 9. You can already see it's starting to look like the foot. Alright, and that was row 6, and now we are going to just crochet around those 9 single crochets until we have 13 rounds total. So 1, and then 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're going to go around until you have 13 rounds. Alright, and now I've done my 13 rounds, so I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds in the red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rounds with the skin tone. And then for round 14, what we're going to do is single crochet 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do an increase. So 1 single crochet into that next stitch, and then 2 single crochets right into that next stitch. And now we're going to single crochet 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do 1 more increase. So 1 single crochet into that next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into that next stitch. And now we should have 11 stitches around after round 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And after that, what we're going to do is single crochet around those 11 stitches 2 more times until we have 16 rounds. Alright, and after round 16, our leg's going to look something like this. And at this point, you can cut your yarn. And you can go ahead and pull out that loop. And we can lightly stuff our leg with some polyfill. Or with some yarn scraps, whatever you prefer. And I just like to use my scissors to help do this. And just be careful not to get the polyfill all over your yarn. Alright, and then you have your first leg done, and now you're just going to repeat the steps from the foot all the way up the leg, and then we can go on to the body. Alright, and now we should have 2 legs that are identical. So we're going to put the one aside for now, and we're going to take the leg we just made, and we're going to change colors to whatever color you want your dress to be, which is going to be the red for me. So we're going to single crochet with our new colors. So we're just going to go and then attach our new color. And that will be our first single crochet for this round. And then we're going to single crochet 4 more times. So 5 single crochets for this round. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now what we're going to do is just make a chain 1. Don't make it super tight because we're going to work into it. And then we're going to take our first leg that we made and right into the next stitch after the one we made. So on the first leg, we're going to go into that next stitch. And we're going to single crochet right into there. And I'm just single crocheting over the tail of the first leg. And then we're going to single crochet all the way around, so 11 stitches total on the first leg we made. Alright, and after that, make sure to count your stitches, that you have 11 stitches on this leg. And now what we're going to do is single crochet into the back of that chain one we made. So right into the back loop of the chain one, just through one strand, and we're going to make a single crochet right into that. And then we're going to go back onto this leg, and we're going to single crochet 6 more times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that will be the end of that 17th round. And now you can see your legs are attached. You can take all these tails and just tuck them into the legs so they're out of the way. And this is what it looks like when all your tails are tucked in. And we should have a total of 23 single crochets and then a chain. So for the next round, we're going to go into round 18, and we're going to single crochet all the way around. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to single crochet into the chain we made. So we should have 2 more strands of the chain because we single crocheted on the other side. And then you can just single crochet the rest of the way around, and you should have 24 total single crochets. Alright, after round 18, it's going to look like this. And we should have 24 single crochets all the way around. And then for rounds 19 and 20, we are just going to single crochet around normally. Alright, now we can move on to round 21, and all we're going to do for this next round is we're going to single crochet into the back loops of every stitch around. So again, the back loop is going to be the loop that's farther away from you. And those front loops that we're going to skip are going to be what we work our dress into later. Alright, and after round 21, we still have 24 single crochets all the way around, and you can just see those little skipped front loops all the way around. If you wanted to give your doll pants, you could just work this row normally through both loops. And for round 22, all we're going to do is just single crochet in each stitch around again. This time through both loops. Alright, and for round 23, all we're going to do is single crochet 10 times. So we're going to go 10 single crochets, and then we're going to do a decrease, and then we're going to do 10 more single crochets and then a decrease, and that'll be the end of your round. And at the end of that, you should have 22 stitches around. Alright, and now we have 22 stitches around, and for round 24, all we're going to do is just single crochet all the way around. Alright, and this is after round 24, and then for round 25, we're going to do some more decreases. So we're going to do 9 single crochets, a decrease, and then 9 more single crochets, and then a decrease, and then you should be back where you started. Alright, after round 25, we should have 20 single crochets all the way around. And then for rounds 26 and 27, all we're going to do is crochet around with no decreases or increases. So after round 27, our doll's going to look like this. And we're just going to put that aside for now. You don't have to cut anything because we're going to pick it up again later. Now we're going to move on to the arms. And for the arms, it's really simple. All we're going to do is make a magic circle. And then we're going to put 6 single crochets into a magic circle. So 1, 2, 3. I like to make these nice and loose so they're easy to work into. 5, 6. And then we pull our magic circle tight. And all we're going to do is work in each of those 6 stitches. So we're going to put a single crochet in each stitch around. All right, and it's starting to look like this. And for rounds 3 to 13, all we're going to do is just work in every single stitch around. And don't worry if you lose count of your stitches or anything. So long as it looks like you have 13 rounds, you should be totally fine. All right, I went ahead and made the second arm as well, just to get it out of the way. And now, so long as you have all 13 rounds, so count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And so long as there is 6 stitches all the way around, you should be good. It doesn't matter if you miss a stitch or two. I don't like to use a round marker when I'm making these arms, just because it gets in the way. So long as it just looks like you have 13 rounds, you should be fine. And then you'll do the same thing for both the arms. And then we're just gonna cut and pull out that loop. You don't need a super long tail or anything because we're not sewing anything. And now we're gonna go back to the body. Now for the body, we left off, if you remember, on round 27. So all we're going to do, pick up our loop again, and we're going to single crochet 2 times right into the body, and the next 2 single crochets. And now we're going to attach the arms. And how we're going to do that is we're just going to pick one of the arms, whichever one, it doesn't matter, and we're going to single crochet around it. So we're going to go into that next stitch, put our hook into it. I like to single crochet over the tail from the arm, and we're just gonna pull up a loop and single crochet right into that arm. And now we are just gonna single crochet around the arm in all 6 single crochets of the arm. All right, and once you've single crocheted all the way around the arm, we're going to go back onto the body and we're going to go right into this next single crochet. We don't want to go back into the one that we already single crocheted in, just the one next to it. And we're going to single crochet 10 times on the body. 2, 9, 10. Now we can pick up our other arm and we're going to do the exact same thing. Go into the single crochet on the arm, crochet over top of the tail from the arm, and we're just going to single crochet 6 times on that arm. All right, and you can go ahead and just tuck the tails of the arm into the body just so they're out of the way. And then we are going to do the 8 remaining single crochets on the body until we are back at the beginning of our round. So again, make sure to go into the next single crochet and single crochet 8 times, and then we should be done with round 28. All right, and after round 28, our doll is really starting to come together now, and we should have 32 stitches all the way around. Now we're going to do some decreases. Now for this round, what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 2. So we're going to go 1, 2, and then we're going to decrease the next 2 stitches. So decrease, going on around the arm 2, and then we're going to single crochet 2 times. 1. These ones can be a little tricky to get into. And then 2 single crochets, and then decrease. And we're just going to do that all the way around. Single crochet 1, 2, and decrease. And then I'll meet you back here when you finish this round. Alright, after round 29, we should have 24 stitches all around. And after this round, we are going to change colors back to our skin tone. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the yarn. And I'm doing it this way so it looks more seamless. And it's not going to be as jagged of a color change. And then we're going to pull out that loop. Now we're going to pull this yarn. And what we're going to do with it is put it through the next single crochet. So go from the back to the front, poke your hook out through there, through both loops, and then we're going to put our yarn over there, and we're going to pull that yarn through that next single crochet from the front to the back. And we're just going to pull that nice and tight. And now what we're going to do is that same single crochet that the yarn is coming out of, or the last single crochet we made, we're going to put our hook through the back loop of that. So just like that. And we're going to pull the yarn through that back loop. And our yarn should look kind of like another single crochet. See how it has the 2 loops there? And you can just pull that really nice and tight because we don't want to work in that single crochet, or we don't want to think that it's a single crochet when we come back around. So if you just pull it nice and tight, you should barely even be able to notice it's there. And then we can just tuck that tail into the body. And now we're going to turn our doll around, and we want to reattach our yarn in the back. So the back is going to be the opposite direction that the feet are facing. So we're going to take our skin tone, pick any single crochet that looks like it's in the middle of the back, and we're just going to pull up our new color of yarn. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet into that same single crochet that we pulled our yarn through. And then we're going to single crochet 1 more time, and then we're going to decrease. So it's the same as the previous round. We just reattached our yarn in the back, and we have a new color. So single crochet 2, and then decrease all the way around. Alright, and after round 30, we should have 18 stitches all around. We don't have to attach it to this first chain that we made, because we're just going to work straight into the next single crochet. You could also change the color on this next round if you want the dress to have like a slightly different neckline. So for this next round, we're just going to decrease all the way around. So go ahead and put your hook in the first single crochet, not into the chain, into the single crochet, and then the next one, and then we're just going to do that all the way around, and at the end we should have 9 single crochets. Around halfway through round 31 is when I like to stuff my doll, so I'm just going to stuff the polyfill in there until it's at a shape that I like. I'm going to use my scissors. I don't like to do the stuffing too soon because I feel like the polyfill just always gets in the way of your hook and the yarn. Alright, I stuffed the doll and now I'm going to finish row 31. And I don't like to stuff the arms with anything because I feel like it just makes them too stiff. So I'm just going to finish doing my decreases for row 31. Alright, and now I'm done round 31. And all there is to do, we have one more round, and all we're going to do is just single crochet in each stitch around, so all 9 single crochets. Alright, and here's our finished body. And then we have 9 single crochets all the way around the neck, and we can cut our yarn. And now we're going to move on to the skirt. Alright, so starting on the back side of the doll, see the feet should be facing forward. This is the back. We're going to single crochet into those little front loops that we missed on round 21. So each of those little loops is going to be a single crochet. So you're just going to take whatever color you want your dress to be, insert the hook into one of those back loops or into the front loops. And we're just going to attach our yarn. And this part can be kind of tricky. I'm just going to do a chain and then single crochet, and we're going to single crochet all the way around, and there should be 24 single crochets when you make it back. Alright, once you've single crocheted in each of those front loops, you should have 24 single crochets all the way around. You can already see it starting to make the skirt. And now we're just going to slip stitch into that first single crochet we made. So go through both the loops. And then slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 2. And then we're going to put 2 half double crochets into this first single crochet. So 1, 2 half double crochets, and then into the next single crochet we're going to do 1, and then 2 half double crochets, and then we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 2 more half double crochets into that next single crochet. And then we're going to do 2 half double crochets into the next single crochet. And then we're going to chain 1. And we're just going to do that all the way around. Alright, now after round 2 of this skirt, you're just going to slip stitch to that first half double crochet. And it doesn't matter the exact amount of stitches that you have on your skirt. Basically, the more stitches that you increase, the more ruffly your skirt is going to be. And then the less stitches that you increase, the more straight down it's going to be. And then you can make it as long as you want. And I'm just going to keep half double crocheting around a few more times. So just go half double crochet into the first half double crochet. If you want, you can make more increases. And then I'm going to half double crochet into that chain space. And I'm just going to keep going around until the skirt is at a length that I like. Alright, and I'm not going to do any more rounds for this doll's dress because I want it to just look like a little tutu. But if you want, you can do several more rounds, make it as long and fluffy as you want, add more increases, or add like a border. You can make it as creative as you want. So now I'm just going to pull that stitch out and I'm going to make that same mock stitch that I did earlier. So through both loops of the first half double crochet we made on that round, from the back to the front, and then we're going to pull our yarn from front to back all the way through, and then we're going to go through the back loop of our last half double crochet we made of this round and pull the yarn through. Then we can just weave in this tail later. Alright, and now we're going to move on to the head. So for the head, we're going to make a magic circle, and we're going to put 5 single crochets into our magic circle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to pull that closed. And then for round 2, we are going to just increase all the way around. So we're going to go into our first single crochet. This one's always tricky. And single crochet into it, and one more single crochet into that stitch, and then we're going to do that all the way around. Alright, and after round 2 we should have twice as many stitches, so we should have 10 single crochets all the way around. And for round 3 we are going to single crochet into that next stitch, and then we're going to single crochet increase, so 1 stitch into that next stitch, and then 2 stitches into the next stitch, and then we're going to do 1 single crochet and then increase into the next stitch, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. Alright, after round 3 we should have 15 stitches all around, and for round 4 we're going to single crochet 2 times, 1, 2, and then we're going to increase into the next stitch, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. After round 4 we should have 20 stitches around, and then for round 5 we are going to do 3 single crochets and then increase, and we'll repeat that all the way around. Alright, and after round 5 we should have 25 stitches around, and now we're just going to do 4 single crochets and then increase. 2, 3, 4, and increase into this next stitch, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. Alright, after round 6 we should have 30 single crochets all the way around, and now we are done with our increases. And for the next 4 rounds, from rounds 7 to 11, no, the next 5 rounds, we are just going to single crochet in each stitch once. So we're just going to do 5 even rows until you have 11 rounds. Alright, so I did those 5 even rounds. Now we have 11 rounds total for the head. And now we're going to do some decrease rounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, and then we're going to decrease. So we're going to go through the front loop of the first stitch and then the next one, and that will be our decrease. And then we're going to do another 4 single crochets and then decrease. So we'll just do that all the way around for round 12. Alright, and after round 12 we should have 25 stitches all around. And now we're going to do round 13, and for this one we're going to do 3 single crochets and then decrease, and we'll repeat that around. Alright, and after round 13 we should have 20 stitches all around, and at this point we can place our plastic safety eyes. So I'm going to just place mine between rounds 9 and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's where I'm going to place my first one. It doesn't really matter what side you put it on. So it's just like that, and they're just about 5 stitches apart. And then you can go ahead when you decide how you like the placing to put on the plastic washers. So you just take them and then pop them on. Alright, and now back to crocheting the head. We're going to do 2 single crochets and then a decrease, and we'll repeat that all the way around. Alright, and now after row 14 we should have 15 stitches going around, and now we only have 1 row left, and at this point we can just stuff our head until we like the shape, and we're going to want to leave a little space open so that we can put something in to keep the neck nice and sturdy. Alright, and for this next round we're just going to do 1 single crochet and then we're going to decrease, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to do 1 single crochet, decrease. Alright, and after that last round we should have 10 stitches, and what we're going to do is just do 1 more decrease, and then we should have 9 stitches total, which should be the same amount that we have from the neck on the body. So what we're going to do is just cut our yarn, give yourself a decent sized tail, because we're going to sew the head onto the body. Then we can go ahead and pull this out. And then what I like to do is go into that single crochet right next to your last one, and then pull the yarn through from back to front. And that just evens out the circle a little bit so it's not as jagged. And now we're going to sew the neck and the head together. So go ahead and take the tail to the body and do what we just did with the tail to the head. Put it through that single crochet right next to the last one, and then just weave it in to the body to get it out of the way. I'm just going to poke it through, pull it through, and then we can cut that later. So just thread your yarn tail through the yarn needle and then match up the stitches so that your head is facing forward. You don't want your head on backwards. And then just find the single crochets that match up and use a basic whip stitch to sew them together. So it's really hard to do on camera. And then once you're halfway done, I'll show you how to put something in so that you can make your neck nice and sturdy. Alright, so I sewed 5 of the stitches together so far. You can see the back is not done yet, and I only went through the front loops to each of the single crochets. I think it looks nicer that way. I'm just going to take the handle to this paper brown bag and fold it up. You can use like a straw or like anything that you can think of that will fit in here. And you just want to put half of it in the body. So this is why you didn't want to stuff it super full. You might have to take out some of the stuffing. This is not a perfect science. And then half in the head. And this is so your neck is not super wobbly. And after that's in, you can go ahead and close up the rest of it, and I'm gonna sew the rest of my stitches together. All right, I finished sewing her head on, and she's finally looking much more put together. And just squeeze around the stuffing to reshape the head. And now we're gonna sew her mouth on. So I just have some black embroidery thread. You can also use black yarn if it's a worsted weight. You can just pull the plies apart and just use like a string of the ply. So you don't need much, probably like a couple inches, that'll be enough. Then take your needle and we're just gonna make a little V shape on her. So how I like to do it is you go evenly down between the eyes, pick a spot down below, then you're going to want to go up this way, pull it through, leave a tail because you're going to want to go back and I'll show you. Go back down. We can just weave this one out over this way. And then we're going to take this other tail end, put that through the needle, and then put it through over here. And that's basically how you do it. I've definitely had to undo these like hundreds of times just until I liked the way that it looked. Oh no, I don't think it looks too bad. It's not perfect, but once you're done, you can just snip these. If you squeeze them, they'll disappear. Snip it close and squeeze, and it goes right into the head. You can't even see it. All right. I think she's looking pretty cute so far. Now we just have to do the hair. So the hair, we are going to start out by just making a magic circle. So first we make a hair cap, and then we add the strands onto the hair cap. So we're going to make 5 single crochets in the magic circle, and then you're going to do the exact same first 4 rounds that you did for the head. So you're going to start with the 5 single crochets and then do increase all the way around, and then you can go back and follow the first 4 rounds that were for the head. And we're also going to want to, for this part of the doll, we're going to want the right side to have the tail coming out. So this is the right side, and we're going to want our tail to be on this side because we're going to be using the wrong side. Alright, so I went ahead and did those 4 rounds, the same as the ones on the head, and that's going to be the entire of the hair cap. And now we should have 20 stitches all around. And what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, only the back loop. So slip stitch through the back loop of that stitch, and then we are going to chain 5. And once we chain 5, now we are going to single crochet into the second loop from the hook, so right into that one, and then we're going to single crochet into those next 3 chains. And now we are going to skip the next stitch and slip stitch into the back loop of the following single crochet. And then we're going to chain 6, 5, 6, and we're going to single crochet into the second loop from the hook, and then into each chain that we made. And these, you can make them however long you want. Right now I'm making the bangs, so I don't want it to be too long so that it covers her eyes. But if you want, you can make it however long you want. You just chain. So right now I'm going to skip another single crochet, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the back of that next single crochet, and then I'm going to chain 6 again, 5, 6, and single crochet all the way down, and I'm going to repeat that one more time. So I went ahead and made the 4th hair strand, and now I'm not going to skip this next single crochet. I'm just going to go right into the back loop of the next single crochet, and now we're going to make a curly hair, and I'm going to show you how you can make your hairs curly on your doll. So I'm going to go ahead this time and chain 10. So 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what we're going to do is single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then we're going to put one more single crochet right into that same chain. And then the next one we're going to single crochet into the chain, and then put another single crochet right into that same chain. So you just put 2 single crochets into each chain that you made. And after you finish that, you can see right here, this strand we just made is nice and curly. And the longer you make it, probably the curlier it will get. You can just twist it a little. All right, and now we're gonna go slip stitch into the next single crochet on your hair cap, or the back loop of it. And now I think I'm gonna make 16 chains. And see, if you want, you can take your doll, and this is going to be our bangs, so you could try it on as you go, and you can just see whatever way you want it to be. You can measure the length, you can make it however long you want, you can make it shorter. Basically, you just want it to be able to cover the doll's head. And then I'll show you how, if you want, you can make a second round of hair. Alright, so I went ahead and finished that 6th strand of hair. And now I'm just going to repeat that same strand 9 more times. So I went ahead and made those 9 more hair strands, and these are the straight strands, even though they are kind of naturally curling on their own. And then I just went ahead and made one more little curly one right over here. And now I'm back to the beginning of the round. Now, so this is normally what we would call the right side, and this has all the front loops where you can see all the front loops here. But we're going to have the wrong side, which is this side, facing up. So this would be how it goes on her head, with the wrong side facing upwards, like that. And now if you try it on her head and you don't think it's going to be enough hair to cover her entire head, what you can do is, that's why we left all these front loops undone. So you can go ahead, slip stitch into the front loops all the way around, and you can just make more hair strands until you think that she has enough volume and length. So I went ahead and just slip stitched to that first slip stitch and then fastened off and woven my end. Now what we're going to do is take the pins, and you want to just place the pin in the center of the hair cap and then into the center of her head, or however you want the hair to be placed. And then you can try it on her, see how it looks. So we're going to glue all of the hair strands flat for the most part. So you want to flatten them out a little bit. And now what we're going to do is take our fabric glue, and we're just going to do a little circle of glue all around the top of the hair cap. If you get this on it like dries clear, but if you get it so that it's like on top of the hair where you can see it, it will look like kind of plasticky. So you don't want to get it anywhere like that you're going to be able to see it. So I'm just going to press it on there with my pin, sort it out, and now what we're going to do is take our pins, and we're just going to pin every strand of hair to where we want it on the head. Alright, so I went ahead and pinned each hair strand to where I want it. See, each individual one has a pin in it. That way they're all just exactly how I want them. And now what we're going to do is we're going to lift up each hair strand individually. So like try and do it in order, that way you can remember which ones you've already done. I'm going to start over here right next to this curly one. And we're just going to lift it up, put a little bit of glue on, hold on, just a tiny bit onto this hair strand, put it right back down where it was, and then we're just going to place the pin right back in it. And we're just going to do that for each individual hair strand. Alright, and I went ahead and glued every single hair strand down. Looks like this. And now we're just going to leave these pins in overnight at least, or maybe for 24 hours, just until you're comfortable that the glue has dried. And then you can go ahead and take the pins out, and your doll is done. can add some ribbons if you want. I might add a little bow here like I did with the other two dolls. Don't know where the other one went, but this one has a little just red tie. Alright, so it's the next day and this doll's hair has finished drying, so I'm just going to go ahead and take out all the pins and then she should be done. Alright, now all the pins are out. Now if you're going to give your doll to like a little girl or something, make sure that you take out every single pin. I've definitely, like if I have multiple layers of hair on here, or if like the pins like blend in with her hair color, I've like left one in accidentally and then I almost gave it to someone with the pin in it. So just make sure that you go around each strand and make sure you took them all out. Alright, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Let me just show you the three little dolls one more time. I think they just turned out so adorable and cute. If you ended up making one of the dolls, I would love to see it. Please just tag me on my Instagram. My handle is Savannah Handmade. I'll link it below so you can find it. Alright, and that's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I hope to make more tutorials in the future, probably more little dolls or animals or any kind of little crochet thing. And I like to knit as well, so I might be doing some knitting tutorials for some like little sweaters or cardigans or things like that. So please subscribe and I'll see you again soon.